Your body is actually a weight health ecosystem. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is like any other ecosystem. So maybe think of your garden as an ecosystem, or if you don't have a garden, think of a garden as an ecosystem. So the worms are there for a reason. You have seeds, you have soil, you have plants that grow. But if you try to consistently get a plant to grow by just watering it instead of giving it more sunlight, you're going to run into problems. You're going to end up having seeds that die or a plant that dies because it's just in too much water. So that's a really good way for us to think about what do we need to actually improve our optimal health. And why is that important when we think about our GLP-1 hormone, GIP, PYY, CCK, the whole alphabet soup of these metabolic hormones that we're hearing about today? Well, they're made in the lining of your digestive tract, in particular cells that are in that lining. And that lining's health depends on a lot of different things. It depends on critters, it depends on antioxidants, specific ones called polyphenols, fiber, it depends on getting signals from your vagus nerve, it depends on the signals that it's sensing from how how it likes what it's getting from a food standpoint, your hydration status, all of these different things. And so what we need to do in order for your own hormones to work optimally is we need to make sure that the ecosystem is optimally resourced. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean taking in too much of any ingredient, and that includes protein. We need to make sure that we're not giving the body too much work to do, but we also need to make sure that it doesn't have insufficient amounts and, of course, is not frankly deficient in certain things. It needs to make sure that it has time where it's really active and doing its work, and it also needs to make sure it has time where it's totally recovering, where it's resting and relaxing. And so when we have that whole ecosystem working better, that's how we end up with a situation where it's optimal. Now, there's a smaller part in here, and that becomes what is actually better for me if I'm trying to address a weight health issue. Maybe I have too much fat mass, maybe I'm trying to lose fat mass, maybe I'm trying to build bone, maybe I'm trying to build muscle, and maybe I'm trying to optimize my overall weight health by reducing my cravings or having less appetite or hunger or any of these things. And that's where we want to get into understanding, should I optimize my own, or is it better for me to use a medication?